What is up, guys? Control here, and today's video is going to be the deck doctor we were talking about a couple of videos ago. Again, Rubee's Spiteful Cthun Druid won with the most likes for the contest. So we're going to be playing this mid-range Spiteful Keleseth Cthun Druid. This is the list we're starting with. It's kind of sweet. It does have kind of a mid-range feel to it where you sort of just want to curve out, potentially ramp a little bit with Mire Keeper to get your Cthun or UI out a little bit earlier, but in general, the kind of playstyle that you have with it is that it's like a mid-range curve deck with some bigger bombs later on in the game. So jam a couple games and see how the deck does. So game one, we get Keleseth and then a 3-drop and a 4-drop, so you probably just keep that hand every time. It's probably an odd rogue though, which means that this is going to be fairly difficult, I would argue. Yeah, okay. So it's going to be pretty tough. Any full capts? It's also on coin. We do have Cthun in hand though. Okay. That's important. So we probably just play the Elder here and let him trade. He's most likely just going to play like a hench clan here. If he plays a captain, it kind of sucks because he's trade swings and then he's up to the 2-2 and the 3-3. We can't Disciple of Cthun hero power it because we don't have enough mana. I am not going to play Darkest Hour Warlock anytime soon, no. We play Mire Keeper and we ramp every time. So this isn't going to go to Cthun active for Vek'lor, which really sucks, so we need another Cthun card. It's kind of how we stabilize this with Vek'lor. It's a very strong card and one of the reasons why you would play an archetype like this. Coin Fungomancer, okay. That is moderately unfortunate, I would argue. So maybe like a Spellbreaker draw could do something. Arakkoa on curve would be fine too. It's like a decent card here. Okay. Probably just have to play this as a 5-7 next turn. Kind of unlucky, but that's how it goes. Should I play another Fungomancer or oh no, an Ironbeak Owl? It's got a full hand of cards that he could develop that would actually do something. Instead, he decides to play an Ironbeak Owl. I respect it. Definitely the hustle. This Corruptor is actually pretty good here. Can trade here. Corruptor hero power. Go face, go face. It's actually a pretty good use of a Corruptor, not gonna lie. I thought one of the things with this deck is that you probably would never find use for it. And, well, I mean, you could also imagine that, like, he just cleared that card, right? Like, he cleared the Albatross and developed something meaningful that turn. Then, I mean, the Corruptor would have been terrible, right? It would have been a very, very bad draw that would have just basically, you know, been one of, if not the reason why we lost the game. I feel like it's still 6-6 here though, and then Vek'lor probably next turn. And I don't think I trade. 7-drop is not active now. Our Cthulhu's a 9-9, not a 10-10 yet. The Twilight Elder only buffs your Cthulhu by 1-1 for the turn that it lives. I think Albatross and or Frizz is going to be Stables and Wilds. I don't think Frizz is very good. I think Albatross is quite strong though, yeah. I would definitely agree with the statement that Albatross is strong. Very powerful card. So we're one turn off UI, but I mean, just with like going face here, we literally have lethal. It's just ultimate infestation. So he goes face for a bunch. And he also has a patient assassin, so our taunt sucks. And we have Arakkoa, which dies to that. So with his 9-card hand next turn, is our best play to actually just go face and pray that, you know, we're not dead every time? I guess doing something like this is probably a little bit better. We just trade a little bit. He still has 5 here, right? So I mean, just with that trade, literally 5 damage and we're dead. And that was like the most defensive play we could have made. Still probably the right one though, because I think with 9 cards, like him doing 4 damage is so easy. Just like second Fungal Mancer, he just wins the game here, right? If we let him have that. So this way he only needs 4. Okay, so we didn't have too much success with the original list, just simply because it didn't really do that much against fast decks. It just wasn't really good enough, I would say. You still lose with the double Zombie Chow, double Mom. Those cards would help a little bit, but they wouldn't really accomplish that much. And they would also really be a hindrance in your slower matchups. And I kind of found that if you're playing a mid-range sort of Spiteful Cthulhu Druid deck, really what you should be looking to do is target slower decks. I don't think you should be really looking to beat the aggro decks, because I think decks like Pirate Warrior are just going to crush you almost every single time. So I figured the best way to kind of doctor this deck was to take it more in a direction where, you know, you can ramp a little bit and you have a decent chance of high rolling, I guess, against slower decks like Reno variants and decks like, you know, Mech Cthulhu Warlock, for example. So we actually decided to do was we cut cards like Zombie Chow, we actually cut Loatheb as well, Forest Aid, and instead, and Twilight Elders as well. And instead we decided to run 2 greedy sprites to ramp a little bit more. The Twig of the World Tree plus Blingtron combo, just because with Twig you can go Brann into Cthulhu for a lot of extra damage. And just the access to the mana is really valuable as well. And we also decided to put Malfurion in the deck and another Spellbreaker, just because Malfurion's pretty sweet later on for stabilizing against aggro. It's really nice as the 1/5 taunt, and then just the armor that you get from it. And it's also very good for pushing damage and winning games with, because 3 damage a turn is kind of broken. We began going up 0-3 with the first version of the deck, and then after we doctored, we went 3-2. So not bad, and I'm pretty happy with the overall choices. We kind of maintained the core theme of the deck and made it a little bit stronger, I'd say. So I hope you guys enjoy the gameplay with the edited version. Let me know what kind of deck you'd like me to doctor next. Have a good day. Good mage. So Greedy Sprite on turn 3. I think Brann's an interesting card, but I'd rather just have him later. I don't like Spellbreaker against Mage, really. So Greedy Sprite and Floop for double ramp. If we do get the Twig plus Blingtron combo and we have Cthulhu and Brann, with Floop, actually that's not true, because Floop is not good with Cthulhu because it's a 3/4 copy. Well, we could get 6 more damage with Cthulhu, so that's possible. But this is probably better served as a ramp card here for us in most cases. Let's go Mistress of Mixtures on turn 1. We hope he's a Quest Mage or Arena Mage of some sort, because if he's Secret Mage, they can just well, make it so we don't really get to play the video game. Okay, goes Quest. Interesting. So what you can tell by them playing Quest on turn 1 on the coin is they probably don't have a Cyclone. Because if they do have a Mana Cyclone, usually what they're going to do there is they're going to hold their Quest to like coin Quest Mana Cyclone. Sometimes more spells than that on like turn 3 or 4, but in general they're not playing their Quest on turn 1 if they do have a Cyclone in hand. And he full capped, which is kind of interesting, so not too sure what to say about that. Is the free-to-play run still on Twitch? No, it happened a long time ago, man. You can probably just look up like free-to-play Priest Control or something on YouTube. There's definitely videos of it. But yeah, we got really close, and I just like... It's not that we couldn't get Legend, it's just that like... So drained playing against 10 big priests in a row, man. It just was not fun. So double Glyph, okay. Makes sense why he wanted to quest then, I guess. So he wanted to play Glyph and a Glyph. So the Summoner, not bad. So if we can go like Sprite into Sprite and they both die, then it's super good for us. It's not like we're getting like a Brann Spiteful Summoner off really fast, but the ramp is super powerful and it's something we're definitely looking forward to do here. And by the way, this like we're talking about good matchups and bad matchups. This is one that would be closer to the good spectrum. Obviously, Quest Mage as a deck is very high power level, but you know, if we're gonna talk about decks that we think are winnable, this is one of those, I would say. It would definitely you know, lean towards being one of the more winnable ones at least. Guess we get 6 mana next turn. If he kills this, we have 7 and can just play the Summoner right away. Otherwise, we might just go like Brann plus Disciple of Cthulhu and try to high roll the ability to Spiteful Summoner and have that go off twice. Mysteries, okay. And AI, okay, so just a card draw turn. Not bad. So I guess we're just gonna hope that it's not gonna be explosive then. Should be Ice Block in most cases, so a counterspell, I would say. Just go Brann, Disciple of Cthun here. Could actually Cthun your own minion here if you wanted. I don't think it's right though. I think going face is just stronger in this exact case. But honestly, not a bad play, just to get the ramp off. But I mean, we don't really have anything between 7 and 10, right? So we're looking to play for the summoner and have the Brann go off here. And the thing about this, and why I say like this kind of a deck can do well against Secret Mage, is because, well, they don't have enough removal to remove big threats every turn, and they certainly aren't going to do too well into 2 10 drops on turn 6. Assuming we get decent 10 drops. If our 10 drops are like both 8/8s, I mean, we're going to be in a pretty good spot, I'd say. Just because the deck really isn't built to deal with that. They're built to deal with like a lot of little stuff and a few big things, but not 2 big things on turn 6. Secrets and a ping. Okay, that's quite nice. So it's probably Flame Ward then. But we still get the summoner off, so that's all good. Okay, so we get UI. We take those. So I guess the question now is, would we like to actually attack in? I feel like the answer is no. I'd prefer to pass, I think. Why? I don't think there's really a reason to just let him play another Flame Ward if he has another one in his hand or something like that. Also, if I attack in this Flame Ward, then I don't get to brand my my Cthulhu's Chosen. And I'm not doing anything with the ramp here. I'm doing a lot of reading ahead. How do I know if my opponents are that strong of players? Well, you don't, but you should assume that they are at least. If you're playing Reno Quest Mage, you probably read like a mulligan guide on it, and the mulligan guide will tell you to keep Cycle on every time. That's how it goes. Okay, so unlucky we didn't go into the Zephyr Synod Coin Brawl or whatever. We didn't, Oh man, oh man, oh man. Oh, that was unlucky. Oh, coin the Doomsayer, okay. I mean, that's fine. So... kind of an unfortunate outcome here. Because I'd like to play both the 4s, but we actually can't here. In case that's a duplicate, would we like to trade that off with this, or would we rather just silence it? Definitely not going to silence the Tyrannus, because then he can target it. We could silence a frozen minion and trade. Is that really better than just silencing the Doom? I mean, he's going to have a Doomsayer on board at least, if that's the case. I'm trying to figure out if that's like better or worse, and I don't think it really matters. I guess it's technically worse with Cthun, right? So we should actually clear it, I think. So we should Spellbreaker our 8/8 and trade. Flame Ward is only minions, so we're safe to do this. Okay. Would you say it's smart to play around all of your opponent's outs? Definitely not. Oh, you should play around what's likely. Not everything, man. Like, I played into turn 6 coin Zephyr to brawl there, right? It's not that likely, right? Especially against a Reno deck, I don't think you should really play around too much for the most part. You should understand that people are going to be keeping stuff like Zephyrs and Reno in their opening hands against stuff like this, right? But maybe not Reno, but Zephyrs for sure, Kazakus for sure. So you should kind of just like be cognizant of that, but I wouldn't say worry about it too much. Can't target Tyrannus with that. Quest is done, okay. That means no one's gonna have fun anymore because the quest is done. Our board is most certainly going to be cleared. In there. So how much do we have? We have 19 here, right? 19, which means his shield is not popped. Shield, I mean block. The block is not popped. Well, it's just moderately unfortunate, not gonna lie. We should probably be playing Vek'lor this turn, though. We should also be going face, I think. Probably trading Actually, we do that maybe. The 12/12 is definitely going to go face, but it's whether or not we trade the 3/2 into the 2/2 or not. Just to remove it. It means he needs 4 damage to clear one of these. It's probably better to just develop and clear. It's like we're expecting Flame Ward. That's the whole reason behind this as well. So we do that. If it's not Flame Ward, then we can kind of just say it's counterspell plus block, but I think it's correct to do this. You trade. You go face. Okay, correct about that. We go face. The Vek'lor, hero power, go face. Okay. So it's important to do that in case he goes like just like Time Warp and has stuff to do. You can't have Vargoth Time Warp this turn. That's what I said we were doing this for, but you know, I forgot that I ramped a bunch already this game. That's my bad. I thought he was going into turn 9. That's why I was like desperately saying we have to get this out. Because with Vargoth plus Time Warp, unless we develop taunts, we're basically just dead. No Spiteful attack first in case of Vape. It wasn't a random secret, I don't think. They were both from his deck. If he's playing Reno Quest Mage and main decking Vaporize, he deserves to kill Tyrantus with it. Because that guy's an alpha male. But yeah, you're right, technically incorrect, but at the same time, not really. I think you should honestly reward players who would run Vaporize and Reno Quest Mage. At least they're running a cool deck and a cool card in this abomination of a deck. We're also almost always going to play UI, I think, this turn, just for extra damage. The problem with that is he's at 4 health because I did Hero Power, so it's actually probably a good idea to not Hero Power next turn. Nova, okay, so we actually have to do this to have the pop here, unfortunately. Which sucks, but that's just the way it goes. So we hit him with the pop. The armor is pretty relevant to gain as well, don't get me wrong. It's pretty important. And he actually can't play a 10 mana potion here because he's only at 9 mana, so... Luck Albatross. We don't have a way to clear it down. You're paranoid when it comes to mage secrets? Yeah, that's fair. His class's identity is randomly discovering cards from their class, which is not very fun. They have the class identity that Shaman's supposed to have. They also have the class identity of taking 3 turns in a row and not letting you have any fun as well. That's one of the key things they do. And along the way, during the time while they're doing that, they also make it so you can't play spells with Counterspell. Fun and balanced card. But Mage Secrets are 3 mana, so it's all balanced. So he clears with this, I think. Maybe for 7 mana here that does something. 7 mana, you pull... You get like Blizzard maybe? Brawl, okay. Wait, but that's not even... Brawl's not even good here. Ray of Frost. Okay, GG. Oh! I think Paladin's gonna be really hard. Spellbreaker is super good though. Definitely good hands. Thanks, Steven. Appreciate it. Is that guy a bot or somebody who actually watches every Hearthstone streamer's videos to see when to skip? I think Skipperino actually watches, but I think he just skips to whenever the intro is done. Okay. I feel like the intros are kind of nice too because they kind of bridge the gap between like live streaming and sort of like interacting with the people who watch on YouTube. Okay, Hero Power. So let me just like coin the greedy Sprite here. Just gonna go face and we can trade it off. Should be fine. If he does trade it off, then we're pretty happy about that, I think. Alder, okay. So an OTK Paladin potentially. Should definitely play Keleseth. I mean, this is probably just fine. I think that we hold Blingtron because Blingtron's effectively just a combo card in this deck with a Twig. I don't really have a reason to play it that early. If he is playing OTK Paladin, I could use it when he plays Uther as well to remove the weapon that he has with Uther. How do you display your deck on the side like this? It's a third-party program called Hearthstone Deck Tracker. Okay. Well, it's a good thing we have a card that says silence on it, right? It's not like the best use of it in the entire world, but it works. Keeps us from dying. Albatross should be good because that's gonna be Zephyrs. The problem is he's just gonna play it right away. So like it's nice that it's, you know, we have the Albatross for the Zephyrs, but he's probably just gonna play Zephyrs now and pick like a Hex and then Hex the Albatross. Albatross is a 3-mana 5/4. It's pretty good. Just looking at it, it's like it's kind of decent, right? Definitely not a bad card. UI, okay. So we're only going to be at 9 mana next turn. And if you look at our hand, we're not really doing that much with 9 mana. So one of the problems of this deck is there's no 8s or 9s. It goes from 7. Basically have like a pretty solid curve from like 3 to 7. And then after that, you kind of just get like thrown into the abyss. And you're like, okay, well here's 2 turns where you're going to do nothing. And then turn 10 is like, we have a few more plays for you, my friends. What would Uther do? Medivh instead of Blingtron? I don't think so. Medivh is a pretty bad card. Definitely not what I would say is good. Faceless Corruptor. So Cthulhu's still an 8/8. We haven't drawn Twig of the World Tree, but we can UI next turn. Is Blingtron just for the weapon deck? Twig of the World Tree combo. It does stuff too. It's not the worst card in the world. I also opened up a golden Blingtron and I don't really find too many situations where I'd want to play it. But here we are. A situation where we kind of want to play it. Divine Shield Rush, maybe? You can go Wind Fury and just clear 2 as well. I think it goes for the Divine Shield play. It's not even technically lethal. It's just not lethal at all. I mean, I guess it's just UI face and then hope no arena, right? I would say a lot of cards that are buffed by our Keleseth. Pretty sweet. Ah, no. Oh, no. We do the tech card, though. We do have Blingtron, right? It's like, yeah, this is pretty good for him, but we do remove the weapon, so he heals 10 less. So it's not like the most dire situation in the world. That being said, I wouldn't go as far to say that we're in a good spot because of that either. So we should play the tech card. Ooh, you recruit minions from our deck with the Woe Cleaver. I mean, you know what? Sign me up, dude. Sign me up. Wait, we could get Brann, right? We should do this first. That is unfortunately not Brann. Okay. So, the Blingtron tech card absolutely destroys either of Even Blade. So that's wonderful. Can you get the Medivh Staff from Blingtron? I don't think so. I think it's only collectible cards you can get, not the ones generated by other things. Okay. I think we just get there a lot of time. Oh, so the elemental you drew is actually Siamat, by the way. It was not Zephyr's.